name is Hope, and I am so excited to welcome you to the Dear Hearts Holiday Drive. The Dear Hearts Drive is a group of fans of the band The Amazing Devil. We have various creative talents that we're bringing to you to shine a little light this holiday season. Please help us to support Refugee Women Connect by donating through the link in the description. Our fundraising goal for this event is £1,500, which we hope to have by the end of the stream. If you would like your donation to be reflected in our final total, please scroll down on our fundraising page a little bit and click the donate button that is just above our target goal. If you use the button that's in the banner, it will still go to Refugee Women Connect, it just won't be reflected in our final total. Thank you so much, and we hope that you enjoy everything we have planned for you today.
Hello everyone, my name is Maha. I am from Sudan and I am seeking asylum in UK. I have lived in Liverpool just over a year now with my husband and my kids. I would like to thank you all for inviting me along today and for supporting our organization. I am here to represent Refugee Women Connect. Refugee Women Connect is a charity based in Liverpool who work with refugee and asylum seeking women. We do this a lot of different ways. We have group activities as well as offering practical support and mental health support. I am a member of Refugee Women Connect advocacy group. We are a group of 15 women, all with first-hand experience of asylum system. Many of us are still in asylum process. We meet every week for campaigning and raise awareness of the challenges of the asylum system, specifically for women. Our group does a lot of different activities, such as writing the blog, conducting research, meeting with MPs, and offering training to other asylum-seeking women on campaigning. We also have a long training process with other women as organizations such as Liverpool City Councils. We have conducted research with the University of Birmingham about the impact of COVID-19 on the forced migrant survivors of SGBV. We are also members of Sisters Not Strangers Coalition, which is a collection of asylum-seeking women organizations from across the UK. I want to tell you now why the work with Refugee Women Connect and our advocacy group is so important, so you understand why we are so grateful that you have organized this event. This has been an exceptionally challenging year for asylum-seeking women. Most of us live in just £5 a day to buy all our food, transport costs, cleaning and hygiene products, such as we need to top up our phones. Because we just get 1 week money at a time, we have to shop in 1 week at a time. This has always been hard, but has been harder during lockdown. Most of us do not have family in UK. Sometimes we can make friends with others asylum seeking, but they are often moved far away by the Home Office. This makes us feel isolated. This has been even harder during the pandemic because we often cannot afford it to top up our phones or perhaps afford travel tickets to visit our friend. The new challenges this year has brought means Refugee Women Connect has been very busy transforming its services. We have been done really important work during the pandemic. We have been organizing food parcels for those who are isolating or cannot afford food. We have also been arranging isolation bags for people and have been using the money we would usually spend on bus ticket to pay for the phone credit. We have been helping people over the phone with questions they have about the asylum process or with any practical support that may need it. Although we have been not able to meet in person, all of our group have to move online, and we have continued our welcome new women into our organization. It is really important to have organizations such as Refugee Women Connect who only work with women. Women need safe space free from men because we trust women more and easily. We feel comfortable to speak freely and from our hearts. Lot of women have experienced sexual and gender-based violence, so having somewhere that they feel safe and comfortable to is important for them to speak from the heart. By organizing events like this one tonight, you are helping to make sure these spaces stay open. On behalf of everyone in Refugee Women Connect, I would like to say massive thank you to all of the dear hearts of supporting us and organization this amazing fundraising drive. Any donation you are able to make to help our organization are really appreciated. However, is small. If you cannot donate, we have to love it for you to follow us in social media and share our posts so that more people become aware of us and the challenges of asylum seeking women experience. Thank you all again and enjoy this evening. It is early to say Merry Christmas, but Merry Christmas to all and Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Ooh. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just a sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe. I believe.
Hey there! My name is Jane and I'm going to be playing two pieces for you all today. The first song is a classic Christmas song, so I hope you sit back, enjoy, and consider donating to Refugee Women Connect if you are able to and haven't already. this second song, I was actually a little bit indecisive. I couldn't decide between two different songs, and I couldn't decide what instrument I wanted to play it on. So in the end, I decided to just go with both. I hope you enjoyed this medley of Hark the Herald Angels Sing and Angels We Have Heard on High, played as a duet by myself on the piano and myself on the string bass. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please spread the word about this stream and donate to Refugee Women Connect if you haven't already. Thank you so much. I'm wishing you all a safe and healthy rest of the year.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now handing a holly Who wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming, I must find some way to keep Christmas from coming. For tomorrow I know all the Who girls and boys will wake bright and early, they'll rush for their toys. And then, oh the noise, 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 noise. There's one thing I hate, all the noise, 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 noise. They'll stand close together with Christmas bells ringing, they'll stand hand in hand, and those Whos will start singing. Fa-hoo, fa-raise, da-hoo, da-raise, welcome Christmas, come this way. Fa-hoo, fa-raise, da-hoo, da-raise, welcome Christmas, Christmas Day. Welcome, welcome, fa-hoo, ramoose, welcome, welcome, da-hoo, da-moose. Christmas Day is in our grasp so long as we have hands to clasp. Fa-hoo, fa-raise, da-hoo, da-raise. And they'll sing and they'll sing and they'll sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now, I must stop Christmas from coming, but how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat. I'll make a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, as he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a minute or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue. Where the little Who stockings all hung in a row, these stockings, he grinched, are the first to go. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. It was 1:15, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a-snooze, whilst he packed up the sled. Packed it up with their presents, their ribbons, their wrappings, their snooth and their fuzzles, their tringles and trappings. 10,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Who's he was grinchily humming, they're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up, I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will cry boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. He paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But this sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded glad. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came, somehow or another. It came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes or bags. He puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's smallest heart grew 3 sizes that day. And then the true meaning of Christmas came through, and the Grinch found the strength of 10 Grinches plus 2. And now that his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. With a smile to his soul, he descended Mount Crumpet, cheerily blowing hoo-hoo on his trumpet. He rode into Whoville, he brought back their toys, he brought back the floof to the Who girls and boys. He brought back their snoof and their tinglers and fuzzles, he brought back their patookas, their dafflers and whizzles. He brought everything back, all the food to the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beef. Welcome to Christmas, bring your cheer, cheer to all Who's, far and near. Christmas Day is in our grasp, so long as we have hands to grasp. Christmas Day will always be, just as long as we have we. Welcome Christmas while we stand, heart to heart and hand in hand.
Eyes are made of winter, and these hands that hold are skin and bone. Our bedsheets thrown, our meals gone cold. I know you of old. Pray for me, oh children, pray for what I've done. I'll haunt the very wrinkles of your skin. I'll run from this, I'll run until I begin to understand what holy man really mean when they speak of sin. hearts are shown are all but gone. The hearts are broken, minds have woken, sweet nothings are screamed and not spoken. God made all man in his image, but honey, I'm no man. I'm what's left when children go to war. I'll run from this, I'll run until I begin to understand what holy man really mean when they speak of sand and suns and seams and symphonies and sweat and sex and sin. And if I only could make a deal with God, I'd tell him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building. And if I only could make a deal with God, I'd tell him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill with no problem. I won't pray for you if I only could make a deal with God. I'd tell him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building. And if I only could make a deal with God, I'd tell him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill with no problem.
Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth. Some people also call me Tardy, short for tardigrade. Thank you so much for watching. Please donate if you can. I will now be reading a poem that I wrote. I hope you enjoy it. At home, alone or with our kin, in this new normal we live in, as days grow short, we now begin to face the solstice black. No shopping trips among boisterous crowds. No plays, no carols sung aloud. This holiday, all we're allowed is distanced smiles through masks. We make, from within misery, creative projects, art, degrees, all that which would not come to be if things were as before. We forge relationships with those we wouldn't have the chance to know, for now the cost of crossing the globe is one we can afford. Instead of face-to-face, we find our friends and family online, for distance now won't leave behind those far away from home. We build communities afresh with friends we don't know in the flesh, who help us through nevertheless. With them we're not alone. We cannot meet up and embrace. This year our customs are erased, but new traditions take their place to keep the season's cheer. And if our current gloomy plight causes tears this solstice night, there's comfort in our phone screen's light. Our loved ones all are here.
Maybe it's much too early in the game. Oh, but I thought I'd ask you just the same. What are you doing New Year's? songs will hold you good and tight. When it's exactly 12 o'clock that night, welcoming in the new year, New Year's Eve. Maybe I'm crazy to suppose I'd ever be the one you chose. Out of 1,000 invitations you'll receive. Oh, but in case I stand one little chance, here comes a jackpot question in advance. What are you doing New Year's Eve? Maybe I'm crazy to suppose I'd ever be the one you chose. Out of 1,000 invitations you'll receive. Oh, but in case I stand one little chance, here comes a jackpot question in advance. What are you doing New Year's Eve?
Hello, welcome to the Dear Hearts Holiday Drive. I'm so glad you could join us today. My name is Emily Kottman, your low rent Ruth Goodman, and today I have been making holiday crackers. I like to make these for family and friends because if you're a little bit of a control freak, you get to choose what goes in them, which is really good if you, I don't know, have dietary allergies or are pagan. So I'm not going to show you how to make those because you can find that like anywhere online. But I am going to share with you my favorite thing that I put in them, which is really bad jokes. Because who doesn't love really bad jokes? Let's see. All right, here's one. Why did the turkey join the band? Because she had the drumsticks. That's a good one. It's really good. It's really bad. It's like we're here because of a band too, so it's topical. Okay, another one. Why can't Yule trees knit? Because they always drop their needles. That's so good. I can't knit because I get bored. Okay, so my whole deal, like my I guess, into this larger fandom, is that I really like ancient languages and dead languages, and translating beautiful songs and poems and also complete nonsense into dead languages. So I've taken the liberty of translating some cracker jokes into Middle English. So if you were at a holiday party and opened a cracker, I don't know how old they are. I didn't look it up. I didn't really care. Ruth Goodman probably knows. But anyway, if you were at a party and you opened a cracker in like 1390, then this is what it might say. Oh, in the north, because this is Northumbrian. Quis all folk sat thirsty at Yule? Na well, na well. So bad. It's so bad. But it works in Middle English. The pun still works. Yeah, because it's a homonym. Jokes are so good when they're in a language that you don't understand and then someone explains them to you. That's what everyone loves. So I'm going to read more of them. What is a getting of a peanut and a bear? a furtre. I love that one. I love that one because the implications of the bear and the pine cone did it. So anyway, there's a lot of like really good lowbrow humor that's represented in the Middle English corpus, like 1200 to 1500-ish, before Shakespeare, after Beowulf. But in Old English, which is like Beowulf times, 1000 CE, or a little before, a little bit after. Anyway, around 1000 CE, there is not quite as much in the way of like secular writings and body humor and total nonsense. So I have translated some because I believe very strongly that it is a universal human experience that you're at a holiday party and you have to laugh at a really bad joke, otherwise your uncle won't go away. So I just want you to imagine you're in a meat hall and there's like, you know, a roaring fire over there and you're sitting on the bench and you've all had a little too much and it's getting a little too late and you're hoping that maybe you can leave soon. All of this sounds very nostalgic considering we've all been locked in our houses for months and months and months. I would take that any day. Anyway. What a quat semere to that jol alfen. Nothing. It only to wavde. I like that one because Old English writers, in my experience, are kind of obsessed with the sea. Kind of like somebody else we know. Not naming names, but I think it's Joey. Anyway, another one. This is my last one. It's probably my favorite one. What bit grena, glad, und kraketaf. Misteltadi. Mistletoe. I love that joke in every era. I love it here, and I love it in modern English, and I probably love it in Proto-Indo-European or whatever else. That's it. That's all the jokes that I have. I have no more jokes. Yeah, thank you so much for coming. I hope you've enjoyed this. I am sure that you'll have some beautiful art or music or something after me. Thank you for bearing with me. Also, I personally celebrate the solstice, so I'm really, really excited that when this airs, the very next day is the winter solstice, and the sun is going to come back a little bit more each day. It'll be a little bit brighter. We'll have a little more daylight. You know, baby steps to spring, and not even a raging virus that we totally should have controlled by now can stop that. So thank you all for being here. If you have a little bit of money to donate to Refugee Women Connect, by all means do that. You can find the link on any of our social media platforms and on YouTube as well. Here's the link. Look for that. Thank you so much for being here. If you are not able to donate, we're really, really, really glad you're here. It really shows a lot of solidarity with people who are seeking asylum in the UK, and it's so wonderful and it's so powerful to know that our communities, you know, reach way, way across borders and way, way across the sea. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Hey there, friends. I'm Pippin, and I just wanted to take the time today to thank you for spending some time with us, for sharing us with your friends, for giving generously if you're able to, and just for helping us put some more good out into the world. I'm so incredibly proud of everyone who's participated and helped organize the Dear Hearts Drive. The mods are amazing. And to thank everyone at Refugee Women's Connect for the incredible and necessary work they do. I'm just so unbelievably thrilled and delighted to get to take part in this not just once but twice now, and give a little back to a very worthy cause. So tonight I'm going to be singing for you two very 2020-ish I Miss My Friends and Family Christmas songs, being I'll Be Home for Christmas and Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, with my dad playing the instrument this time, being a bandoneon, so it's got a nice little twist on it. And without further ado, I hope you all find some wonder and cheer with us today. And although it's been said many times, many ways, happy holidays and enjoy. I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year all our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. Next year all our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Someday soon we'll be together, if the fates allow. Until then we'll now. And with that, I bid you adieu. I wish you a most happy holidays filled with love and light and laughter and joy and all of the good things that should come with this holiday season at the end of this historic year. So thank you again for spending time with us, for sharing us with your friends, for giving if you have the means to, and for all of the work and effort that everyone from all sides at the Dear Hearts Drive, the admins, the participants, and at Refugee Women Connect have done for all of the incredible work they will continue to do. So thank you again for this really incredible opportunity, and I'm very grateful. So happy holidays to all, and to all a good night or good time zone. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Hope, and today I will be reading a poem called Not So Far as the Forest by Edna St. Vincent Millay. Just a small warning, it is a little sad, but that's kind of the 2020 mood, so I'm just gonna go with it. So I hope you like it. That chill is in the air, which the wise know well, and even have learned to bear. This joy, I know, will soon be under snow. The sun sets in a cloud, and is not seen. Beauty that spoke aloud addresses now only the remembering ear. The heart begins here to feed on what has been. Night falls fast, today is in the past, blown from the dark hill hither to my door. 3 flakes, then 4 arrive, then many more. Branch by branch this tree has died, green only is one last bough moving its leaves in the sun. What evil ate its fruit, what blight, what ugly thing, let the mole say, the bird sing, or the white worm behind the shedding bark tick in the dark. You and I have only one thing to do, saw the trunk through. Distressed mind, forbear to tease the hooded why, that shape will not reply. From the warm chair to the wind's welter, flee if storms your shelter. But no, you needs must part, fling him his release, on whose ungenerous heart alone you are at peace. Not dead of wounds, not born, home to the village on a litter of branches torn by splendid claws and the talk all night of the villagers, but stung to death by gnats, lies love. What swamp I sweated through for all these years is at length plain to me. Poor passionate thing, even with this clipped wing how well you flew, though not so far as the forest. Unwounded and unspent, serene but for the eye's bright trouble. Was it the lurching flight, the unequal wind, under the lopped feathers that brought you down, to sit in folded colors on the empty level field, visible as a ship paling the yellow stubble? Rebellious bird, warm body foreign and bright, has no one told you? Hopeless is your flight towards the high branches. Here is your home, between the barnyard strewn with grain and the forest tree. The time we feather the wing, ankles slip the ring, the once confined thing is never again free.
Ma'otzor Yeshuati Lecha na'el leshabeach Tikon betefilati Vesham toda nezabeach Le'etachin matbeach Mitzar nabeach Az egmor beshir mizmor Chanukat hamizbeach Az egmor beshir mizmor Chanukat המזבח.
Hi everyone, my name's Atara, and I've got Mini Atara here with me, who you might remember from the other drive that we did earlier in the year. She's made by the lovely Coco. And you know, we've kind of we've learned how to coexist in the same space. So we are here today for some festive fun in support of RWC. So if you've not had a chance to check out RWC, please do so. They're an amazing charity. They've done some really great work this year. Honestly, this year has been a little bit of a shit show. Sorry, Ozzy's grandma. But they've done some amazing work. So if you can this holiday season, donate or otherwise get involved to support them by sharing stuff on social media, making artwork or whatever it is that you might be able to do to get involved. Please do so. So we're going to crack on because we've got about 10 minutes max. I've put down 5 to 10 minutes because I'm indecisive. So what we are going to do today is we're going to have a look at some festive jokes and one-liners, and we are going to rate them on a scale from 1 to 10. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. You can do your own rating in the comments, and let's crack on. How much did Santa pay for his sleigh? Nothing. It was on the house. 3. What do Santa's little helpers learn at school? The alphabet. I feel like, that's like a 5, like there's room for improvement. I feel like I'm being really nice. Do we need a Simon Cowell type judge here? What do you call an old snowman? Water. That's a 7. Why was the turkey in the pop group? Because he was the one with the drumsticks. Hey. That's a 3. Who delivered? Oh my god. Who delivered? No, I can't do it. I can't do it. Who delivers presents to baby sharks on Christmas? Santa Jaws.
Get off the stage.
That's honestly, that's an 8. Listen to this one. Why did no one bid for Rudolph and Blitzen on eBay? Because they were too dear. I don't. That's like a 1 because I don't get it. What do you mean? Like they were too dear? Okay, like reindeer, but like they were too dear. Like they were too nice. Like I don't like. This is about bidding on eBay. How did Scrooge win the football game? The ghost of Christmas past. That's a solid 9. That's really funny. Who hides in the bakery at Christmas? A mince pie. I hate myself. I've never hated myself more. That's a 1. I'm sorry. That's dreadful. What do you call an obnoxious reindeer? Rudolph. Hey, that's a 6. How will Christmas dinner be different after Brexit? No Brussels. That's in a league of its own. That's sad. That's like killed all my crops. I feel I've taken psychic damage from that. I'm not even gonna rate that. You guys rate that. Why are Christmas trees so fond of the past? Because the presents beneath them, A. I'll give that one an 8. That's pretty funny. Why did Santa bring 22 reindeer to Tesco? Because he wanted to buy cost around $20. But in case it was more, he bought some extra dough. I can't. What do you get when you cross a deer with rain? A reindeer. I hate it here. That's a 1. Why do Dasher and Dancer love coffee? Because they're Santa's Starbucks. I'm gonna give that one a 10. That's amazing. Where'd you find a reindeer? Depends where you left him. 8. Thanks everyone. Have a lovely holiday season and don't forget to donate. Bye. You know, people act like the North Pole and the South Pole are exactly the same when actually there's a world of difference between them.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm going to be reading you a story from a book called Yuletide Tales, published in 1875, which is a collection of stories that people would tell when the nights got long and they sat around the fire. You might recognize some familiar aspects of this story because it is an old folk tale. You're probably familiar with parts of it. This story is called The Palace That Stood on Golden Pillars. There was once a peasant who with his wife lived very, very far in the woods. They had 2 children, a boy and a girl. They were very poor, all their wealth consisting in a cow and a cat. This peasant and his wife lived in a state of constant strife with each other, and you might have been sure that if the old man desired one thing, the old woman always desired another. It happened one day that the old woman had boiled some porridge for supper, and when it was ready, and each had received a share, the old man would scrape the pot. This the old woman opposed with all her might, asserting that the right of scraping belonged to her and her only. Hence a desperate quarrel ensued, neither being willing to yield to the other. The end was that the old woman snatched up the pot and ladle and ran off, and the old man with a whip following close at her heels. And away they went over hill and dale, the old woman first, and the old man close behind her, but our history does not inform us which of the 2 finally obtained the scraping of the pot. When a considerable time had elapsed, and no tidings were heard of their parents, the children had no alternative but to go out into the wide world and seek their fortune. So they resolved on leaving their habitation and dividing their inheritance. But, as it generally happens, the division was a mighty difficult affair, there being nothing to divide save the cow and the cat, and both being desirous of having the cow. While they were discussing the point, the cat, with a most insinuating mien, approached the sister, gently rubbed her knee, and mewed, "Take me, take me." So, as the boy would not let go the cow, the girl gave up her pretension and contented herself with the cat. They then parted from each other, the boy with the cow going his way, and the girl with her cat wandering through the wood. But of her and her companion's adventures nothing has been related to me until they came to a spacious and splendid palace, which lay at some distance before them. While both travelers were on their way to the beautiful palace, the cat began to converse with his mistress, and said, "If you will follow my advice, it shall bring you luck." The girl, who placed great confidence in her companion's prudence, promised to follow his directions. The cat thereupon desired her to take off all her old garments and climb up into a high tree, while he would go to the palace and say that there was a princess, who had been attacked by robbers and stripped both of property and clothes. The girl did accordingly, threw off her old rags, and placed herself in the tree. The cat then went, but the girl sat in a great fright as to how the matter would turn out. When the king who ruled the land was informed that a foreign princess had suffered such violence, he was exceedingly troubled, and sent his servants to invite her to the palace. The young girl was now abundantly supplied with costly attire and whatever else she required, and accompanied the royal messengers. On arriving at the palace, all were struck with her beauty and courteous manners. But the king's son paid her the most marked homage, and declared that he could not live without her. The queen, however, had her suspicions, and asked the beautiful princess where her residence was. The girl answered as she had been instructed by the cat, "I dwell very far from here, in a castle called Cattenburg." Still the old queen was not satisfied, but resolved with herself to ascertain whether the strange damsel were really a king's daughter or not. For this purpose she went to the guest chamber, and made ready a bed for the peasant girl, with soft silken bolsters, but laid secretly a bean under the sheet, because, thought she, if she is a princess, she cannot fail to notice it. The young girl was then conducted to her apartment with great state. But the cat had observed the queen's stratagem, and apprised his mistress of it. In the morning the old queen entered, and inquired how her guest had passed the night. The girl answered as the cat had instructed her, "Ah, yes, I have slept, for I was very weary after my journey, but it seemed as if I had a large mountain under me. I slept much better in my bed at Cattenburg." The queen now thought that the damsel must have been delicately bred, yet resolved on making one more trial. On the following evening the queen went again to the guest chamber, and having prepared the peasant girl's bed as before, laid some peas under the first pillow, and when it was morning, entered and inquired of her guest how she had slept. But, following the cat's instructions, she answered, "Ah, yes, I have slept, for I was very tired, but it seemed as if I had large stones under me. I slept much better in my bed at Cattenburg." The old queen now thought that she had well stood the trial, yet could not entirely dismiss her suspicions, and therefore determined on a third attempt, for the purpose of finding out whether the strange damsel really were of such high birth as she pretended to be. When the third evening came, the queen went again to the guest chamber, and, having prepared the bed as before, laid a straw under the second pillow, and when the queen came in the morning and inquired how she had slept, she again answered as the cat had instructed, "Ah, yes, I have slept, for I was very tired, but it seemed as if I had a large tree under me. I was much better served at Cattenburg." The queen now found that there was no sure way of arriving at the truth in this manner, and therefore resolved on keeping watch how the strange damsel conducted herself in other respects. On the following day the queen sent her guest to a costly dress, embroidered with silk, and with a very, very long train, such as were worn by women of high rank. The peasant girl thanked her for the present, and thought no more about it, but the cat, that was close at her elbow, apprised his mistress that the old queen would put her to another trial. When some time had passed, the queen sent to inquire whether the princess would accompany her on a walk. The peasant girl consented, and they set out. On entering a garden, the court ladies were very fearful lest they should soil their dresses, as it had rained during the night. But the strange damsel continued walking without heeding whether her long train was being dragged through the mud or not. Whereupon the queen said, "My dear princess, take care of your dress." To which the peasant girl proudly answered, "Oh, there must be more dresses to be had here besides this. I had much better dresses when I was in my castle at Cattenburg." Now the old queen could not think otherwise than that the damsel was accustomed to wear silk-embroidered garments, and thence concluded that she must be a king's daughter, so could no longer entertain any objection to her son's marriage, to which the peasant girl also gave her consent. It happened one day, as the prince and his beloved were sitting together conversing, that the damsel, on looking through the window, saw her parents come running out of the wood, the old woman first with the pot, and the old man close at her heels with the ladle. At this sight the girl could not contain herself, but burst out into a loud laugh. On the prince inquiring why she had laughed so heartily, she said, as the cat had instructed her, "I cannot help laughing when I think that your palace stands on stone pillars, while mine stands on golden ones." When the prince heard this he was greatly surprised, and said, "Your thoughts are always dwelling on the beautiful Cattenburg, and you seem to think that all things are better there than with us. We will go and see your splendid palace, let the distance be ever so great." At this the peasant's daughter was so alarmed that she would willingly have sunk into the earth, knowing well that she had not a house, much less a palace. But there being no remedy, she put a good face on the matter, saying she would consider on what day they should commence their journey. When she found herself alone, she gave free vent to her trouble, and wept bitterly, for she thought of all the disgrace that would fall on her for her deceit and falsehood. While she thus sat and wept, in walked the sagacious cat, rubbed himself against her knee, and inquired the cause of her sorrow. "I may well be sorrowful," answered the peasant's daughter, "for the king's son says that we shall go to Cattenburg, so now I am like to pay dearly for having followed thy counsel." But the cat bade her be of good cheer, and added that he would so manage matters that everything should turn out better than she could imagine, at the same time telling her that the sooner they set out the better. Having had already so many proofs of the cat's wisdom, she followed his instructions, though this time with a heavy heart, for she could not free herself from the apprehension that their journey would have an unfortunate termination. Early on the following morning the king's son ordered chariots and drivers, and everything besides which he thought necessary for their long journey to Cattenburg. The train then set out. The prince and his betrothed went first in a gilded chariot, attended by numerous body of knights and squires, while the cat ran foremost of all to show them the way. After traveling for some time, the cat perceived some goatherds driving to the field a large flock of the most beautiful goats. So, going up to the men, he greeted them courteously, saying, "Good day, goatherds." When the king's son rides by and inquires to whom these fine goats belong, you must say they belong to the young princess at Cattenburg, who rides by the prince's side. If you do, you shall be well rewarded, but if not, I will tear you in pieces." On hearing this, the goatherds were much surprised, but promised to obey the cat's bidding. He then pursued his way. Shortly after came the king's son, riding with all his train. On seeing such beautiful goats feeding in the field, he stopped his chariot and inquired of the herdsmen to whom they belonged. They answered as the cat had instructed them. "They belong to the young princess at Cattenburg, who rides by your side." At this the king's son wondered greatly, and thought his betrothed must be a powerful princess, and the peasant girl was not a little glad at heart, and thought that she was not losing the party when she divided the inheritance with her brother. They now continued their journey, the cat running foremost. After traveling for some time, they came to where a number of peasants were making hay in a pleasant field. These the cat saluted very courteously, saying as before, "Good day, good people. When the king's son comes by and inquires to whom this beautiful meadow belongs, you must answer that it belongs to the princess at Cattenburg, who rides by the prince's side. If you do so, you shall be well rewarded, but if you do not do as I have said, I will tear you to atoms." When the men heard this, they were greatly surprised, and promised to say what the cat desired. The cat then ran on as before. Shortly after came the king's son in his chariot with his whole retinue. On seeing the fertile fields and the number of people, he caused his chariot to stop, and inquired who was the owner of the land. The men, following the cat's instructions, answered, "The fields belong to the young princess at Cattenburg, who rides by your side." The king's son was now yet more surprised, and thought his bride must be immensely rich, seeing that she owned such beautiful hayfields. Resuming their journey, and preceded by the cat, they approached at length a very extensive cornfield, which swarmed with men and women, all busily employed in reaping. Here the cat again ran forth, enjoining and threatening as on the former occasions, so that when the prince came by and inquired to whom the fields belonged, he received an answer similar to the foregoing. It was now late in the evening, and the prince stopped with his attendants for the purpose of resting during the night. But the cat took no rest, but ran hastily forwards, until he saw a beautiful castle with its towers and battlements supported by golden pillars. This splendid palace belonged to a fierce giant, who owned the entire neighboring country, but was at that time absent from home. The cat therefore passed through the castle gate and transformed himself into a large loaf, then stationed himself in the keyhole, and awaited the giant's return. Early in the morning, before the dawn, the frightful giant, who was so huge and heavy that the earth shook under him as he walked, came jogging out of the forest. When he came to the castle gate, he could not open it because of the great loaf stuck in the keyhole. Thereupon he became exceedingly angry and cried, "Unlock! Unlock!" To which the cat answered, "Just wait a little moment while I tell my story. First they kneaded me as if they would knead me to death." "Unlock! Unlock!" cried the giant again, but the cat answered as before, "Just wait a little moment while I tell my story. First they kneaded me as if they would knead me to death, then they floured me as if they would flour me to death." "Unlock! Unlock!" vociferated the giant in a towering passion, but the cat repeated, "Just wait a little moment while I tell my story. First they kneaded me as if they would knead me to death. Then they floured me as if they would flour me to death. Then they pricked me as if they would prick me to death." The giant was now beside himself with rage, and roared out so that the whole castle shook, "Unlock! Unlock!" But the cat was not to be moved, and answered as before, "Just wait a little moment while I tell my story. First they kneaded me as if they would knead me to death. Then they floured me as if they would flour me to death. Then they pricked me as if they would prick me to death. Then they baked me as if they would bake me to death." The giant now felt uneasy and cried out quite gently, "Unlock! Unlock!" But all in vain, the loaf remained quiet in the keyhole as before. At the same moment the cat cried out, Only see what a beautiful girl is riding up in the sky." As the giant looked up, the sun had just risen above the forest, and the sight of which he fell back and split into shivers. Such was his end. The loaf then transformed itself again into a cat, and hastened to set everything in order for his guests. After some time the king's son and his fair young bride arrived with all their train. The cat went out to receive them, and bid them welcome to Cattenburg. They were now entertained most sumptuously, and there was wanting neither meat nor drink, nor any costly luxury. The noble castle was full of gold and silver, and all kinds of precious things, such as the like was never seen before or since. Shortly after, the marriage was solemnized between the prince and the fair young maiden, and all who saw her thought she had good reason for saying, "I had it otherwise in my castle at Cattenburg." The king's son and the peasant's daughter lived happily together for many years, but I have never heard how it fared with the cat, though we may almost guess that he wanted for nothing. The end.
Hi, my name's Ren, also known as Oats. Thank you for joining us in support of Refugee Women Connect. It is an honour to not only just be able to raise money for this charity once, but now doing it again. It is really special. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support. It really means a lot. So today I'm just going to be singing a couple of songs. I hope you enjoy them. This first one is Snoopy's Christmas. The music come out in the First World War. The bloody Red Baron was flying once more. The Allied command ignored all of its men and called upon Snoopy to do it again. Was the night before Christmas, 40 below, when Snoopy went up in search of his foe. He spied the Red Baron and fiercely they fought. With ice on his wings, Snoopy knew he was caught. Christmas bells, those Christmas bells, ring out from the land, asking peace of all the world and goodwill to man. The Baron had Snoopy dead in his sights. He reached for the trigger to pull it up tight. Why he didn't shoot, well, we'll never know. Or was it the bells from the village below? Christmas bells, those Christmas bells, ringing through the land, bringing peace to all the world and goodwill to man. The Baron made Snoopy fly to the Rhine and forced him to land behind the enemy lines. Snoopy was certain that this was the end when the Baron cried out, "Merry Christmas, my friend!" The Baron then offered a holiday toast, and Snoopy, our hero, saluted his host. And then with a roar they were both on their way, each knowing that meet on some other day. Christmas bells, those Christmas bells, ringing through the land, bringing peace to all the world and goodwill to man. Christmas bells, those Christmas bells, ringing through the land, bringing peace to all the world and goodwill to man. Cool. Now The second song that I've got is Little Talks by Of Monsters and Men. So, here we go. I don't like walking around this old and empty house, so hold my hand, I'll walk with you, my dear. The stairs creak as I sleep, it's keeping me awake. It's the house telling you to close your eyes. Some days I can't even trust myself. It's killing me to see you this way. 'Cause though the truth may vary, this ship will carry our bodies safe to shore. There's an old voice in my head that's holding me back. Will tell her that I miss our little talks. Soon it will be over and buried with our past. We used to play outside when we were young and full of life and full of sun days. I don't know if I am wrong or right. Your mind is playing tricks on you, my dear. 'Cause though the truth may vary, this ship will carry our bodies safe to shore. Don't listen to a word I say. Hey, the screams all sound the same. Hey, and though the truth may vary, this ship will carry our bodies safe to shore. You're gone, gone, gone away. I watched you disappear. All that's left is a ghost of you. Now we're torn, torn, torn apart. There's nothing we can do. Just let me go, we'll meet again soon. Now wait, wait, wait for me. Please hang around. I'll see you when I fall asleep. Don't listen to a word I say. Hey, the screams all sound the same. Hey, and though the truth may vary, this ship will carry our bodies safe to shore. 'Cause though the truth may vary, this ship will carry our bodies safe to shore. 'Cause though the truth may vary, this ship will carry our bodies safe to shore. Thank you.
Poems by Wisława Szymborska. On death without exaggeration. It can't take a joke. Find a star. Make a bridge. It knows nothing about weaving, mining, farming, building ships, or baking cakes. In our planning for tomorrow, it has the final word, which is always beside the point. It can't even get the things done that are part of its trade. Dig a grave, make a coffin, clean up after itself.
Preoccupied with killing, it does the job awkwardly, without system or skill, as though each of us were its first kill. Oh, it has its triumphs, but look at its countless defeats, missed blows and repeat attempts. Sometimes it isn't strong enough to swat a fly from the air. Many's the caterpillar that has outcrawled it. All those bulbs, pods, tentacles, fins, tracheae, nuptial plumage, and winter fur show that it's fallen behind with its half-hearted work. Ill will won't help, and even our lending a hand with wars and coup d'etat is so far not enough. Hearts beat inside eggs. Babies' skeletons grow. Seeds hard at work sprout their first tiny pair of leaves, and sometimes even tall trees far away. Whoever claims that it's omnipotent is himself living proof that it's not. There's no life that couldn't be immortal, if only for a moment. Death always arrives by that very moment too late. In vain it tugs at the knob of the invisible door. As far as you've come, can't be undone. Miracle Fair. The commonplace miracle that so many common miracles take place. The usual miracle, invisible dogs barking in the dead of night. One of many miracles, a small and airy cloud is able to upstage the massive moon. Several miracles in one. An alder is reflected in the water and is reversed from left to right and grows from crown to root and never hits the bottom, though the water isn't deep. A run-of-the-mill miracle, winds mild to moderate turning gusty in storms. A miracle in the first place, cows will be cows. Next, but not least, just this cherry orchard from just this cherry pit. A miracle minus top hat and tails, fluttering white doves. A miracle, what else can you call it? The sun rose today at 3:14 a.m. and will set tonight at 8:01. A miracle that's lost on us. The hand actually has fewer than 6 fingers, but still it's got more than 4. A miracle, just take a look around the inescapable earth. An extra miracle, extra and ordinary. The unthinkable can be thought. Into the ark. An endless reign is just beginning. Into the ark, for where else can you go? You poems for a single voice, private exaltations, unnecessary talents, surplus curiosity, short-range sorrows and fears, eagerness to see things from all 6 sides. Rivers are swelling and bursting their banks. Into the ark, all you chiaroscuros and halftones, you details, ornaments, and whims, silly exceptions, forgotten signs, countless shades of the color gray, play for play's sake and tears of mirth. As far as the eye can see, there's water and a hazy horizon. Into the ark, plans for the distant future, joy, indifference, admiration for the better man, choice not narrowed down to one of 2, outworn scruples, time to think it over, and the belief that all of this will still come in handy someday. For the sake of the children that we still are, fairy tales have happy endings. That's the only finale that we'll do here too. The rain will stop. The waves will subside. The clouds will part in the cleared up sky, and there'll be once more what clouds overhead ought to be. Lofty and rather light-hearted in their likeness to things, drying in the sun. Isles of bliss, lambs, cauliflowers, diapers.
I really like Christmas. It's sentimental, I know, but I just really like it. I am hardly religious. I'd rather break bread with Dawkins than Desmond Tutu, to be honest. And yes, I have all of the usual objections to consumerism, to the commercialization of an ancient religion, to the westernization of a dead Palestinian press ganged into selling PlayStations and beer. But I still really like it. I'm looking forward to Christmas, though I'm not expecting a visit from Jesus. I'll be seeing my dad, my brother and sisters, my gran and my mom. They'll be drinking white wine in the sun. I'll be seeing my dad, my brother and sisters, my gran and my mom. They'll be drinking white wine in the sun. I don't go in for ancient wisdom. I don't believe just 'cause ideas are tenacious it means that they're worthy. I get freaked out by churches. Some of the hymns that they sing have nice chords, but the lyrics are dodgy. And yes, I have all of the usual objections to the miseducation of children who in tax-exempt institutions are taught to externalize blame and to feel ashamed and to judge things as plain right or wrong. But I quite like the songs. I'm not expecting big presents. The old combination of socks, jocks and chocolates is just fine by me. 'Cause I'll be seeing my dad, my brother and sisters, my gran and my mom. They'll be drinking white wine in the sun. I'll be seeing my dad, my brother and sisters, my gran and my mom. They'll be drinking white wine in the sun.
Hi, welcome to History Rant, the show where we talk about people in history you never knew you needed to know about. I'm Bridget F.
And I'm Bridget G.
And today we're talking about historical holiday traditions.
This is going to be a shorter episode that is going to be part of the Dear Hearts Holiday Drive to benefit Refugee Women Connect.
So in December, there's a few holidays that you hear about pretty often, like Christmas. And many of those Christmas traditions are actually based in deep-rooted pagan traditions.
In Sweden, Finland, and Norway, there are gnomish spirits called tomte, or as they're known in Norway, nisse. Their name literally means homestead man, and they are said to protect farmhouses. On Christmas Eve, it's customary to put out a bowl of julegrøt, or Christmas porridge, with butter out in the farmhouse for the tomte.
Tomte are often portrayed as kindly old travelers, and some even resemble the American Santa Claus, with a red and white hat and coat. From the tomte, Scandinavians adopted the legend of Saint Nicholas, who would go from house to house with his sack of toys, saying, "Are there any good children here?"
In Scandinavian tradition, there is something called a Yule goat. Yule goats are ornaments made of straw from the last harvest of grain in fall. The wheat is bundled up in the shape of goats. There is a large Yule goat placed in Slottstorget, or Castle Square, in Gavle, Sweden. This is known as the Gavle goat, or the Gavlebakken. The Gavlebakken has also been burnt down multiple times, and now has a full security team and surveillance on it at all times.
Also, we apologize for any words we butcher.
Yeah.
The legend of St. Nicholas sometimes includes a real Yule goat who would help him carry his sack of toys from house to house. The symbol of the goat comes from the worship of Thor in ancient pagan festivals. It is said that Thor rode through the sky in a chariot drawn by 2 goats.
Some traditional holiday food and drink in Scandinavian countries include pepperkakor, or gingerbread, and glögg, or mulled wine.
Saffron buns are also popular, and they represent Saint Lucia, who rejected her suitor and gave her dowry to the poor. She is also known as Saint Lucy. Saint Lucia Day is on December 13th and is celebrated with a procession of young boys in white outfits and girls with lighted wreaths and long white dresses. Saffron buns are eaten on this day, and they are also known as Saint Lucia buns or bread.
Another widely celebrated December holiday is Hanukkah. The day that we're recording this is actually the first night of Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah to any of our listeners who celebrate it.
Hanukkah, or the Festival of Lights, as it is sometimes known, is a celebration of oppressed Jews rising up against their Greek-Syrian oppressors in the Maccabean Rebellion. Under this oppression, Jews were forced to worship Greek gods. Hanukkah means dedication in Hebrew, and it is celebrated to remember those who fought against their oppressors to reclaim their freedoms and their right to freely practice their religion.
The significance of lights comes from the miracle of Hanukkah. After the rebellion during the rededication of the Second Temple, there was only enough oil to keep the candles on the menorah burning for a single day. Judah Maccabee, the one who began the rebellion, and the other Jews in the temple thought the candles would go out. According to the story in the Talmud, a sacred Jewish text, the candles kept burning for 8 days.
The significance of oil also flows over into Hanukkah foods, like latkes, or fried potato pancakes. Jam-filled donuts, known as sufganiyot, are also a popular food in Jewish households.
Kwanzaa is another major holiday celebrated from December 26th to January 1st. It was created by Dr. Maulana Karenga in 1966, 64 years ago. It is meant to be a celebration of African life, family, culture, and community. Dr. Karenga also designed it to allow African Americans to reconnect with their heritage and to counter the commercialization of Christmas in popular culture.
The word Kwanzaa comes from Matunda ya Kwanzaa, which means fresh fruits in Swahili. Kwanzaa is spelt with 2 A's at the end to make the word 7 letters in order to correspond with the 7 principles celebrated during the holiday. There are also 7 symbols and 7 candles lit.
These symbols are Mazal, the crops, Makeka, the mat, Kanara, the candle holder, Mahundi, the corn, Mishuma Saba, the 7 candles, Kikombe cha Umoja, the unity cup, and Zawadi, the gifts. 6 of the symbols are placed on the Makeka, the mat. There are 3 green, 3 red, and 1 black candle in the Kanara. The black candle is lit each day along with an additional candle for each day.
The colors have meanings as well. Black represents the African people, green represents hope for the future, and red represents their struggles. The 7 principles of Kwanzaa are Umoja, unity, Kuji Changula, self-determination, Ujima, collective work and responsibility, Ujamaa, cooperative economics, Nia, purpose, Kumba, creativity, and Imani, faith.
These principles and the other traditions of Kwanzaa make it a truly special holiday for those who celebrate it. It doesn't start for about a week, but for any listeners who celebrate it, we wish you a joyous Kwanzaa.
This episode is part of the Dear Hearts Holiday Drive. It is organized by a group of fans of alt folk band The Amazing Devil and benefits Refugee Women Connect.
They are an organization that provides service and assistance for refugee and asylum-seeking women in the UK.
At the time of this episode's airing, the Holiday Drive will be streaming on the Dear Hearts Drive YouTube channel.
The link to donate will be in the episode description.
Until next time, I'm Bridget F.
And I'm Bridget G.
And remember, kids, only justice will bring peace. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, so today I'm going to be showing you some origami. It's going to be quite simple origami, so it should be quite easy for beginners to do. Mine's is probably not going to be very neat because I'm doing it at a bit of an angle, but if it's not neat, then that's not important as long as you're doing it and having fun. So the first thing we're going to be making is a heart, and a very basic heart. So for this you just need a square bit of paper. I'm using origami paper because it comes in a square and it's very thin, so it's easy to fold, but you can use any paper you have as long as it has 4 equal sides to it. So to start with, the first thing we do is fold it in half diagonally, so corner to corner, like this. And then open it up again and fold in half the other way, connecting the other 2 corners. And open it up. And now what we do, we take one of the corners and fold up into the middle, and we can see where the middle is because it's where the 2 creases we made intersect. Turn it around and then take the other corner and fold it up to meet the middle along the top there. And you can see that from where the crease we made before. And now we want to fold this bottom half up along the middle. And then do the same on the other side. So the bottom wants to come up to meet along the middle. So then you just want to turn it over, fold the top corners down, like that. And then fold the corners at the side in, just to make it look a little bit rounder and more like a love heart, like that. So then the second one we're going to make is a love heart as well. It's a little bit more complicated and fiddly, this one. For this one you need a rectangular bit of paper, so it needs to be twice as long as it is wide. To make this one I got a square bit of paper and then cut it in half. Again, you can use any paper you have as long as it is twice as long as it is wide. So the first step here is to fold it in half. Like that. And then open it up again. Now we want is to fold the bottoms along up the middle. So like this. And then the same on the other side. Then to open that up, turn it around and do the same fold the other edges up the middle. And then when you open that up, you'll find you have two sides, each with a cross along them. So this bit is a bit difficult to show, but what you want is the two top corners to meet the middle and the two sides to push in and meet in the middle. So you see there, I kind of push them in with my fingers to make that middle into a point and make it into a triangle. Make sure everything lines up. And you turn around and do the same on the other side. So again, those middles are coming in to meet each other and the top corners are coming in to meet the bottom corners. And you're left with a square. You see that in this square we have 4 of these little flaps. What we want to do is take each flap and make the corner meet the corner at the top, like that. And we want to do that for every flap, so that's the second one. Turn it around. The third one up. And the fourth one. So now what we want to do is for each flap, we're going to lift it up a little bit, open it up and press it down so that the point comes into the middle. So you open it up, kind of squash it down till it meets in the middle. And make a kind of square with that. Again, we do that with each flap. So we open it up and squash it down. Open it up, squash it down, and open it up and squash it down. So now we have a square inside the bigger square. So this is the bit where it starts to get a little bit fiddly. What we're going to do is we want that bottom edge to come up into the middle for each flap. So fold the edge to meet in the middle there, as you can see. And again on the other side. So I'll speed through this a little bit, but you want to do that for each of those little squares. Fold them in to meet the middle. Like that, so they make little kite shapes. Now this bit is a bit fiddly. What you want to do is again for each flap you want to open them up and squash them down, like that. You want to do it so that the edges go along that diagonal line there and along the middle. And so you open it up, squash it down. And again, I'll speed through this because you want to do that for each flap. You want to open it up and squash it down. And it can be a little bit fiddly, but you can usually manage to get all of them quite easily. So we're almost done now. What you'll find is you've got these flaps are kind of more fixed at the sides, and then the top and bottom corners are a little bit more movable. So what you want to do is take that top corner and fold it down behind, and then tuck the corners in. And we have a love heart with a nice little pattern in the middle. And the last thing we'll be making today is a deer. So this is the deer hearts drive, so to make a deer and some hearts. For this, again, you'll need a square bit of paper, and you start by folding it in half diagonally, corner to corner. And this time we're not going to open it up, we just fold it in half again. And just make sure that it's a nice crisp fold. And then what we want to do is take one side, kind of open it up and put the corner, the point down at the bottom so that it creates a square. So I'll just show you again there. So have the triangle, open it up, fold it down to make the square, turn it over and do the other side. So the second side can sometimes be a little bit fiddlier, trying to make sure that the fold you've already made stay in place. But you can just be a bit patient with it, take your time and fold it down so that you've got a square. Like that. Now what we're going to do is take each side and fold it so that the bottom edge comes up to meet the middle. Like that. Make sure that it's right along the middle. Do the same on the other side. And then fold down the top corner. And when you open it all up again, you'll have created creases that you'll be able to then fold the other way as you open it out. So you open it up, fold it along those creases you made, and it makes a diamond shape. Then turn it over, and we want to do the same on the other side. So fold it in so that edge meets the middle. And the same on the other side. Fold the top down. Open it up and use those creases as guidelines to help you open it up into a nice diamond shape. So now you've got a diamond, and at the bottom you have these, it's split a bit so you can move those freely. So these are going to become our antlers. So what we're going to do is open the side up there, fold one of those little flaps up, and then close the side again, and the side that you folded up should fold in on itself. So I'll show you that on the other side. You open it up, fold it, and then close it. And then this flap on the front, if we fold that down, take the point at the bottom and fold it up, and fold it up again. What we're doing here is we're making the face to our wee deer. And then the point at the top, fold that down. So this is our deer's face. To make the antlers, what you want to do is open it up. You put your thumb in there, in the side there, use your finger to press it down, and then use your other thumb to kind of pinch it shut again. Like that. And then just fold it behind. And there we have an antler. And then do the same on the other side. So put your thumb in there to open it up, press down with your finger, and then use your other thumb to pinch it shut again. And then fold behind. And there we have our antlers. Now this bit at the top, you have two options. You can either cut along the middle there and do the same as with the other antlers. And what I like to do is fold it behind and then fold it up again. And what that means is it gives it kind of a little stand. So if you want to sit your origami down, that helps it stand up. So now we have our deer. To make it look a little bit more like a deer, if you get a pen and you can draw on some eyes and a little nose. And there's our little deer. So thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying the drive. And
hi guys, Nina here, wishing you a happy holiday season from sunny Florida. Thank you so much for tuning in to the DHD stream benefiting Refugee Women's Connect. Today I'm going to be singing for you guys, bringing some contemporary and traditional holiday tunes to you. Please check out the donation page, either share, donate, or just text your family, scream about it a little bit. And stick around for more entertainment, more poetry, music, art, all kinds of stuff. Thank you again so much, and please enjoy.
Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, doo doo, ba boom, doo doo, ba boom, doo doo, ba boom, doo doo, ba boom. Santa baby, just slip a sable under the tree for me. Been an awful good girl, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Oh yeah, Santa baby, a 54 convertible to light blue. I'll wait up for you, dear Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Think of all the fun I've missed. Think of all the people that I haven't kissed. Next year I could be just as good if you check off my Christmas list. Santa baby, I want a yacht, and really that's not a lot. Been an angel all year, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Oh yeah, Santa baby, one little thing I really do need, the deed to a platinum mine, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Oh yeah, Santa cutie, and fill my stocking with a duplex and checks. Sign your ex on the line, Santa cutie, and hurry down the chimney tonight. Come and trim my Christmas tree with some decorations bought at Tiffany. I really do believe in you. Let's see if you believe in me. Oh, Santa baby, forgot to mention one little thing, a ring. And I don't mean on the phone, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Hurry, Santa, just hurry down the chimney tonight. Hurry up, Santa, Just hurry tonight. I really can't stay, baby, it's cold outside. I've got to go, but baby, it's cold outside. This evening I've been hoping that you drop so very nice. I'll hold your hands, and just like my mother will start to worry. What's your and father will be pacing the floor. Listen to the fireplace, so really I'd better scurry. Please don't hurry. Maybe just a half a drink more. Put some records on while I pour. The neighbors might, but baby, it's bad out there. Say what's in this chance to be had out there. I wish I knew your eyes are like starlight to break the spell. I'll take your hat. Your hair looks sad. I ought to say no, no, mind if I'm moving? At least I'm gonna say that I tried. What's the sense of hurting my pride? I really can't stay. Baby, don't hold out. Baby, it's cold outside. I simply must, but baby, it's cold outside. The answer is but no. Baby, it's cold outside. The welcome has how lucky that you dropped so in. Nice and warm. Look out the window at that my sky. Sister will be suspicious. Look delicious. My brother will be there at the door. Waves upon a tropical shore. Maintenance Monday specialist. So delicious. Or maybe just a cigarette more. Never such a blizzard before. I've got to get home. Baby, it freeze out there. Say, lend me a cup to your knees out there. You've really been through when you touch my hand. Don't you see? How can you do this thing to me? There's bound to be talk tomorrow. Think of my lifelong sorrow. At least there will be plenty in play. If you got pneumonia and die, I really can't get over that doubt. Baby, it's cold outside. Hark how the bells all seem to say, Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong a dong, that is his song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling their tale. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Hark how the bells all seem to say, Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding, ding a dong, that is his song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling their tale. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. On they send, on without end. Ding dong, ding dong. 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 D
Hello everyone, I'm Jess and I'm going to be playing a couple of songs for you today. But first off, I just want to thank you all for joining us in support for such a lovely organization as the Refugee Women's Connect. Your time, your support, and your donations really mean the world to us. So first off, I'm going to be singing a Christmas classic, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. So hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. All right. So now I'm going to be singing one that you all probably know if you're here, but this is Farewell Wanderlust by the Amazing Devil. You look like I need a drink. He winked as he slipped from my grasp to the bar, and you are he said, me, little me. He called from the brink of the day. He said, hey darling, hey, hey darling, hey. I'm the hardest goodbye that you'll ever have to say. You don't know it yet, but I'm the Cupid of things that you just didn't get. He struggled to say, I'm the saint of the paint that was left in the pot. I'm your angel ellipsis, your devil of dots. Every time that you fumble, I'm the laugh from the back. When you think about him, my wings start to flap. When you make a mistake, my feet lift from the floor. And when you lie there awake, every night, love, I soar. I promise you I'll be better. I promise you I'll try. But like rubbing wine stains into rugs, it's my curse to try and make it right, but I try and make it worse. I'm the heartbreak that aches far too much to be shunned. All those letters unsent, that garden ungrown. I'm the captain of courage, the of eternally lacked. I'm the Jesus of wishing to Christ you'll come back. Because farewell, wanderlust, you've been oh so kind. You brought me through this party, but you left me here behind. So long to the person you begged me to be. She's down, she's dead. Instead, what is left but this old sad dress and the mess that you left when you told me I wasn't right in the head. I'm alright, as the boys from beyond. You gave us such a fright. We'd hate to see a mascot
mom says you look healthy, but you know she means you got fat. I'm the tales that the guests will applaud and believe. I'm the child that you just didn't have time to conceive. I promise you I'm not broken. I promise you there's more to come, more to reach for, more to have at the door. Goodbye to all my darkness, there's nothing here but light. Adieu to all the faceless things that sleep with me at night. And this here is not makeup, it's a porcelain tomb. And this here is not singing, I'm just screaming in tune. Because farewell, wanderlust, you've been ever so kind. You brought me through this darkness, but you left me behind. So long to the person you begged me to be. She's down, she's dead. Now take a good long look at what you've all done to me. She's down, she's dead, she's gone, oh, she's lost, she's flown, she's fled. Now take a good long look at what you've all done to me.
Alright, well, thank you so much for joining us. That concludes my piece for today. But again, thank you so much for your contribution and just for being here today to enjoy this time with us. So happy holidays and have a nice day.
Hi, thank you for tuning in to our Dear Hearts Drive fundraiser to support Refugee Women Connect. I'm Ruthie, and these are my plants. Today I'm going to introduce you to some of them. So this time I brought out most of my aloes and created this nice little aloe forest over here. And most of these are either pups or they're once again having babies. So the first plant I'm going to introduce you today is a special guest star. Her name is Paloma, and she's a Christmas cactus. She's not mine, she belongs to my mom. Someone gave her to my mom for Christmas. She's a Christmas cactus in a little Christmas mug. Look how much she's grown since then. So when she first got her, Paloma had pink flowers all over, like these, but obviously healthier. And then once they died, she didn't do anything for 6 years. And then all of a sudden, this spring, a couple blooms popped up. And we were all excited because it's been 6 years. She's finally flowering. And once those died, we thought she was done. And then she completely exploded in pink. She had flowers everywhere. And then once those died, we thought, okay, now she's done. And then recently, she grew some new flowers. And those ones are dying, but you can see by this little pink bud right here that she's working on growing some more just in time for Christmas. Next up is Rufus. And if you look at him, it looks like he has a bunch of thin little white hairs. Those aren't hairs, those are actually roots. And that's because where I bought him from, they weren't really watering the succulents enough, as they tend to do in large stores. And it was the middle of summer, so it was super, super humid out. So what he was actually trying to do by grow these roots was grab the water out of the humid air so that he could get enough
Next up is Goliath, who I named Goliath because when I got him, he was teeny tiny. I wanted him to grow up big and strong. Now, a lot of people, including me, don't generally think of succulents as plants that grow flowers, but a lot of them actually do. He is my first succulent to ever do so, and he has this cute little stalk with these cute little white flowers, and I am very proud of him. So, if you watched the last stream, I introduced you to Sabrina, my biggest aloe. Well, I repotted her in the biggest pot I have ever used. And here she is now, all dressed up for Hanukkah. Next up, we have Cesare in his cute, tiny little hat. Cesare is what's sometimes called a bear paw succulent, because if you look at him, it looks like he has these fat little fuzzy bear paws, and they even have tiny little claws. And it's very cute, and he's very soft if you pet him. All right, last up, we have the brothers. We have Todd, who was the first succulent I ever bought. So he's one of the oldest here. And then we have his tiny baby brother, Nicolo, who I've only had for maybe like a month and a half. And when I got him, he was even smaller than this. He's grown so much already, but one day he's going to grow up and look like this. And I don't generally get a chance to see them at different stages like this, because I don't usually end up buying more than one of the same type of succulent, except for the aloes, which I have a lot of various ages, but that's their own fault. But I just think it's so cute to see the grown-up and the little tiny baby together. All right, so that's all, folks. Thanks for watching. And please consider donating to Refugee Women Connect. They do super important work with women refugees, asylum seekers, and survivors of trafficking, and use the money to help them build safe lives in the UK. I'm wishing you happy holidays, whichever ones you celebrate, and a safe, happy, and healthy new year.
So, I have never played this song on ukulele before, but I have the chords pulled up, so why would I practice? Hi, my name is Coco, and I am going to butcher Betty by Taylor Swift for you all, because what else would I sing? Betty, I won't make assumptions about why you switched your homeroom, but I think it's 'cause of me. Betty, one time I was riding on my skateboard when I passed your house. It's like I couldn't breathe. You heard the rumors from Inez. You can't believe a word she says most times, but this time it was true. The worst thing that I ever did was what I did to you. But if I just showed up at your party, would you have me? Would you want me? Would you tell me to go fuck myself? Or lead me to the garden? In the garden, would you trust me if I told you it was just a summer thing? I'm only 17, I don't know anything, but I know I miss you. Betty, I know where it all went wrong. Your favorite song was playing from the far side of the gym. I was nowhere to be found. I hate the crowds, you know that. Plus I saw you dance with him. You heard the rumors from Inez. You can't believe a word she says most times. This time it was true. The worst thing that I ever did was what I did to you. But if I just showed up at your party, would you have me? Would you want me? Would you tell me to go fuck myself? Or lead me to the garden? In the garden, would you trust me if I told you it was just a summer thing? I'm only 17, I don't know anything, but I know I miss you. I was walking home on broken cobblestones, just thinking of you when she pulled up like a figment of my worst intentions. She said, James, get in, let's drive. Those days turned into nights, slept next to her, but I dreamt of you all summer long. Betty, I'm here on your doorstep, and I planned it out for weeks now, but it's finally sinking in. Betty, right now is the last time I can dream about what happens when you see my face again. The only thing I wanna do is make it up to you. So I showed up at your party. Yeah, I showed up at your party. Oh fuck, I forgot about the key change. Yeah, I showed up at your party. Will you have me? Will you love me? Will you kiss me on the porch in front of all your stupid friends? If you kiss me, will it be just like I dreamed it? Will it pat your broken wings? I'm only 17. I don't know anything, but I know I miss you. Standing in your cardigan, kissing in my car again. Stopped at a street light, you know I miss you.
סביבון, סוף סוף סוף, חנוכה הוא חג טוב, חנוכה הוא חג טוב, סביבון, סוף סוף סוף, חג שמחה הוא לעם, נס גדול היה שם, נס גדול היה שם, חג שמחה הוא לעם.
Well, the work was hard and the wages low. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. And the crop was bad and the gales did blow. And it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the winds do blow. And it's time for us to leave her. I thought I heard the old man say, leave her, Johnny, leave her. You can go ashore and take your pay, but it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the winds do blow, and it's time for us to leave her. Our stern was foul and the voyage was long. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. All the winds was bad and the gales was strong, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the winds do blow, and it's time for us to leave her. And we'll leave her tight and we'll leave her trim. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. And heave the hungry packet in. And it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the winds do blow, and it's time for us to leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, with a grin. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. For there's many a worser we've sailed in, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is done and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. And now it's time to say goodbye. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the old pier heads are drawing nigh, and it's time for us to leave her.
Family love is the best. We smart, we fabulous, we brave, we independent, we are the best, we are amazing, we trust, we smile, we calm, we brilliant, we are great, we are brilliant, we are the best, attractive, love, we are friend, we are beautiful, we are masterpiece, wonderful, and we are love, we are funny.
Hello, Elfie and Pickle here. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed the performances. If you haven't already, please take the time to donate to Refugee Women Connect. And from all of us here at the Dear Hearts Drive, we wish you a safe and merry festive period.